What's up, guys? Technique Tuesday coming at you. Talking about the hollow hold today. If you've been following all on Instagram in the low back series, we talked a lot about this position. It's a fundamental position for some of your core muscles that help to stabilize the low back, improve strength, reduce injury. And this is important whether you're picking up something light off the ground or trying to deadlift a personal record. So I'm going to be going over some of the variations today and different things from base starting point all the way up to more advanced things. So everyone should be able to benefit a little bit from these. So starting with the first one. So this would be your starting point for this one. If you're not sure where you're at, start with feet down, and then going to try and find this hollowed position. So think about rocking the back flat into the floor as the hips tuck back. And once you find that position, you want to hold that. The back stays pressed against the floor. And then just think about tightening up your abs like you were about to get punched. And you should feel those tighten up a little bit. And then when you do the starting position, we're just focusing on the breath. So breathing through all these positions is one of the most important things. And that's what's going to help you to progress further through it and translate it to more athletic movements and daily activities. So step one, get the back flat. Step two, like someone's about to punch you, tighten up. And then just cycle in a few breaths. So in through the nose, out through the mouth like you're blowing out a balloon. So it'll look like this for a couple rounds. And what you should notice, a lot of people when they inhale, things will stay tight around there. But as soon as they exhale, people lose this tightened position, this hollow position. You might actually feel a little bit of space between your back and the floor as you do that. But a lot of times as you exhale, people have a hard time keeping that tight. So this has got to be something you can master before trying to jump through the progressions too quickly. So if you're losing that in the exhale, just start in this position and work on some of your breathing and then go from there to the ones about to show you. So once you got that down, and won't go over the breath in all of these, but the breath is something that you should be able to maintain during all these progressions, and that's an easy way to know if you're ready to progress. So for the next one, starting with legs and hips at about 90 degrees, and then we're going to start to get into more of this hollowed position. So this is reaching with the hands, tuck the chin, point the toes, and you're going to just hold that position. Same thing, should be able to maintain a breath. A couple ways you can do this. You can go, if it's a tough starting point for you, even just work on holding this position for 10 seconds, keep everything tight, and then relax, and you can do it for repetitions. But ideally, a general rule is you want to be at about a minute. You should be able to hold these a full minute up in this position. And once you can hold that for a full minute, then you're likely ready for the next one. So getting to the next one, the next progression after that is working on a single leg at a time. So think about pointing that leg, point the toes, notice how quad's tight, everything's in a straight line, and then back in. You want to try that on both sides. Keep reaching with the hands, reaching for the wall in front of you. Straighten the other leg, point the toes, quad tight, and then back in. Same idea, you can switch back and forth, do some 10-second holds, but eventually, same thing, aiming for about a minute per leg. Now it's important to keep those quad muscles tight, core muscles tight, and that's going to translate more to the following progressions. So after you can do one leg at a time, it's going to be both legs together. It'll be a little more challenging. So everything's the same starting point. Reach the hands first, keep the toes pointed, and then pointing both towards the wall in front of you. Now it's okay if you're shaking a little bit, especially if you're trying to talk during this, but focus on that breath, reach the hands, point the toes, and hold that position. So I'm somewhere in between that progression and the next one. See, a little shaky with that one. Focus on keeping the back flat on the floor. So after that though, if you're able to hold that, no problem. The next one it'll look a lot like the last one. Starting here, toes reach, and then longer lever arm, hands reach all the way overhead. So see, a little more shaky there. So trying to point the toes, stretch the hands, get tall, and hold that position. Again, aiming for a minute with that one is going to be pretty challenging for you guys. So after you get into more of these static positions, then you can start challenging in different dynamic ways called the hollow rock. So back to the starting position or whatever progression or regression you're at. Start in this starting position, reach the hands, and then you're going to try and keep this position and start a little bit of rocking back and forth. So should be able to maintain this hollowed position. If you start to notice yourself arching as you rock or losing that position, that's probably too challenging for you and you're not ready for it yet. But I'll show you, I'll just take you through one after another the different progressions you could do while you're rocking. So again, the same starting point, reach the hands first, hollowed out, start to rock, and then can straighten one leg out at a time. Keep those toes pointed. Shouldn't lose this hollowed position at all. Switch back and forth. And then both legs can go together. And then eventually tough would be hands overhead. And still rocking. You see that one's harder for me to maintain a good breath with. So you want to find that point that's challenging enough, but that you're not compromising form at all. You're not sacrificing your breath. So with all these positions, notice how that's going to help prevent injury. Has lots of effects down into the hip, the knee, ankle if you're having any issues there. Same thing up into the shoulder and the neck. If you guys have any questions specifically on how to progress, regress, where you're at, you can leave any comments below. Give us a like, give it a share if you find it useful and think anyone can benefit from it. Talk to you guys soon.